Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the episode of Tatami Talk. My name is Juan. Division partner Anthony. This is a judo podcast for judo players by two judo players. So, Anthony, how you doing?
I almost died last night, but
oh my god!
I guess it wasn't that dramatic. Maybe I would have.
This fool right here didn't see police sirens behind him, two police cars, and stayed in the way of a speeding car. I applaud him for that.
And when you're going like 70 miles an hour, you don't hear the police sirens until they're close. Plus, the police only came by like after the car almost hit me. The police only came by like 5 seconds later after. So they were not close. There's no way I would have heard them. So
I don't know, Anthony.
Yeah, but
are you one of those guys that's like, if it wasn't the law, I would have moved out the way of ambulances?
I wasn't even in the left side. I was on the middle lane. But yeah. Anyway, the guy. Long story short, almost got hit by a car that was in a car chase, and 5 minutes later, the car was. I drove by. It crashed. So, hopefully, no one was hurt. But man, it's just not been my year. Like
it's only
technically
so what 6 days? What day is it today? It's only been 5 days.
Well, technically happened yesterday, so it was 4 days.
It's only been 4 days already.
Yeah, so it was really funny because we actually were coming back from watching a movie from Hong Kong. It was called The Last Dance. It's actually really, really good. I recommend it. It's subtitled, but really good movie. Talks about death and the funeral services and stuff like that. And after it happened, Jessica's like, "Oh, the ancestors are watching over us."
I hope your life insurance paid up.
Yeah, but hopefully all my bad luck is out of the way already. Because last year was not my year. I just don't want this year to be like this again. So.
Yes, I hope so too. I hope we all have a good year, and happy New Year to everyone out there. Also, I know people were a little upset that I left early. I got some messages being like, "Last episode, why did you leave so early, Juan? Like there's another hour left the show after you left." And I was like, "I'm sorry."
You were like, "Holy crap! How'd you guys talk about the rules for another hour?"
When I saw the full length, I was like, I left at this time. There's still an hour left in the show. Oh my god.
Well, there's a lot of rules to go, a lot of things to go over. Plus, yeah, I even cut. We were rushing through it, and I already cut down a lot of stuff already. But man, the rules. I just want to say, I guess it's kind of venting. I don't really care. I didn't expect that many people watch it. Like we said, historically, when we went over the rules, nobody really cares. What was it? Like the whole seminar was 9 hours, and I cut it down to like after you left, there was another hour and a half. So I basically cut it down to an hour and a half discussion of the rules. And yeah, last I checked, it was 200 views or something like that. And then I'm looking at other people who are just basically reiterating the rules in the wrong way. Like there was a guy who said 90 degrees is Wazari. 90 degrees or more is Wazari. I'm like, no, that's wrong because 90 degrees is Yuko. They
literally said, and then you also posted some stuff about like, well, this is what they put on the website now, which is contradicting what they said over here already.
Yeah. So people were posting like stuff that was wrong, and we were getting like 3,000 views. And then there was another guy who was like, I didn't read the rules, but here's what I think. I didn't read the rules or a seminar, and this is what I think. And that was like 4,000 views. I was like, maybe I should just short it, like just stop doing all this.
Why do we do this work, Anthony? Why do we watch all the videos? Why do we look at the stuff, go in depth in it, just so other people can be like, oh, this is my opinion?
Well, I think if those 200 people got, well, not all 200 people watched the whole thing, but if those, like, let's say 100 people got something out of it, then I think that's better than if they got the wrong information from those other videos. But it was funny.
No, go ahead.
Oh, it was funny because last night I was apparently sleep talking, and then my wife was like, you said something about funeral services because we watched that movie. You said something about funeral services. You said something about the ref being stupid, and you said something about off balance them.
So what kind of funeral were you at? Are you doing judo and there's a ref there?
I don't remember I remember sleep talking. I don't remember the dream I had, but so it was interesting.
Did we have any interesting comments from people? Did anyone leave us anything good?
I think
Anything good, bad, you know?
Yeah, it was mostly good because I mean, bad people who leave bad comments wouldn't be going through it. But someone, one of our longtime listeners, actually said it was the most comprehensive over coverage of the rules, which I agree because I haven't seen anyone else cover it that well. And then another, yeah, it was just positive comments. There's only a couple. Oh yeah, so someone did say we were overly harsh. I need to bring this up because I take back what I said, kind of. We were
Mm.
overly harsh on ragging on people thinking leg grabs are going to come back. And apparently I didn't know this, but apparently Judo TV Instagram posted like a short video
Mhm.
heavily insinuating that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
because he was like, "Oh, you guys liked it on Instagram." I was like, "Well, Juan runs the Instagram, so if he liked it, then it's Juan."
Yeah, no, I liked it because I was like, okay, I support this, okay, and I know, and this is the whole thing. Like I said before, I fell into a trap. You know, I got browbeaten into being that. Yes, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, leave me alone. Okay, yeah, okay, they're gonna come back. I thought they weren't. Like, remember when all my catch wrestling friends, jujitsu friends, and was like, hey, congratulations, Juan, leg grabs coming back. I was like, I don't know, I don't believe it. This is BS. They beat us out of it for so long. But right now, it'd be kind of weird to bring them back after just like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
And then it's like people just, no, it's going to come back. And other, like we talked about, other instructors, other sensei, the people saying that's going to come back. It's like, well, maybe it will. Okay, I'm drinking Kool-Aid. All right, I got my white shoes on. I'm putting my purple jacket on. I'm drinking Kool-Aid. I'm laying down. All right.
Yeah, but basically, as after I saw that video, I was like, all right, I guess if you saw this video and you don't know about how bureaucracy works, then I guess you could like give them. But I was like, if I saw it, I wouldn't believe it because
Yeah.
we know. And USA Judo is a perfect example. They outsource the. They don't communicate. Long story short, they don't communicate with each other. So I'm sure the media, social media people just kind of rode the wave and was like making that because everyone's hyping it up. And I'm 100% sure they didn't talk to referees about this. Like they didn't go like, "Hey, Mister Danny, I forgot his name.
I don't know his name. I don't remember his last.
I
I'm terrible
remember
with
his
last name. I'm terrible with first name.
I'm sure they didn't go like, "Hey, would you be okay with us releasing the video?" I'm pretty sure they didn't do that. But I went by what the IJF released on their YouTube channel, where the referee made a statement, and just the fact that they never mentioned the word leg grabs, I knew they weren't coming back. But I guess it was overly harsh because I didn't see that video. But yeah, I understand. It doesn't matter in the end. I was half joking anyway, just saying, giving people shit for that. But
Hey,
anyway.
we're just two LA judo players, all right? Just giving our opinions out there, okay? And we're American anyways. You're not supposed to take us serious. We're American judo players. We're not Japanese or French or Russian, okay? We suck to the rest of the world.
I'm secretly kind of happy about it just because the plans that we had doesn't look so dumb anymore. Not like we're gonna copy them. So that's my own personal opinion because that directly affects us. So
Yeah.
yep.
So I did have someone message me. This is a little bit lighter news again. Someone after I talked about in the last episode that I'm going to apply for my fourth Dan soon. I sent in the paperwork. So I sent it in. I have way over the amount of points I should have. Philippe signed off on it as a master tester, master blaster thing. So we'll see in the next 2-3 episodes. Hopefully, I don't know if they're going to go to committee with it or just sign off on it, but we'll see soon if I get my fourth Dan. So keep you guys updated, let you guys know. And I am not like, I'm a judo guy. I hope I actually shouldn't say this. I hope USJ is listening to it, but I'm not wearing that goddamn checkered belt. They sent me one.
They're not gonna send you one.
Hey, what do you be so mean, Anthony?
I don't like that checkered belt too. Like I really don't. But
yeah.
It's also interesting because on one of the coaches' Facebook group, someone shared a thing reminding people you're not supposed to wear your red and white belt to other people's clinics unless you're like a VIP guest. Like basically talking about the etiquette of wearing a red and white belt. And I've been to so many of these things where people were just like breaking those rules, guidelines. But
well, it's funny because I asked our member Brian Hershkowitz when he got his red belt. I was like, hey, Brian, when you come to class and you practice a lot, you do rondori practice, you Newaza practice, you do all this stuff. Are you used to wear your black belt? You're going to wear your red and white. And he says, Juan, when I was I can't remember, like 20s or teens, but when I was a young man training in Japan, all the sixth and seventh Dans, wore the red and white belts during practice. They practiced in them, they wore them, they were all over the place. So I was like, oh, I wonder where this rule thing came from then. If when he was younger doing it, there was no one cared.
I mean, maybe that's his experience, but if you look at the Kodokan, um, when I was at the Kodokan,
Mm-hmm.
right, doing the randori, there was clearly some people that were 6 down and above because they were doing their own little Newaza corner, and they're really
Mm-hmm.
really old, and they wore their black belts because the person in charge of the running the practice that day had the 6 down belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was the norm. And also you can look at some of the Kodansha tournaments and you'll see no one's wearing their 6 down
That's
belt.
a tournament,
Yeah.
though. That's a tournament.
I don't know, man. So I don't know what to tell you, but that's true. But I don't know. I'm just saying it was interesting. I'm not saying I just said it was interesting that someone brought it up, but
Mm-hmm.
because I always thought, oh, isn't that the thing? I wish they would clarify more, basically. But I guess it was kind of like a heavy suggestion, and it's like we can't really force you to do it, kind of
They're
thing.
gonna come like hit you or something. Put
Yeah,
your goddamn black belt on.
yeah. Especially if you're a high down rank person, they're not gonna like say anything to you. So
Yeah. Well, it's like you get the weirdness also. This is later, and this actually happened during your class. I kind of made,
Mhm.
I talked to Tim about this later, but I was like, when you guys lined up for the end of class, it was, I'm not gonna say who it was, but you guys are all like lined up, all out of sync of Dawn ranks and stuff.
No, we're all Nidons now.
Yeah, you're all Nidons, but it's your class, and
I
so
don't
just
care.
got their. I know you don't care. I know you don't care, Anthony. I know you
Yeah,
don't. But to
but
me, it just looked funny.
well, yesterday Tim ran class, so I let him line up in front of me. But it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying it's really weird because imagine Philippe was helping me out in my class and he wore his red and white belt, which he did, and I was like, "Hey, Philippe, can you put on your black belt?" Imagine if I said that.
He would throw you across the room. Okay, why?
Can you put on your black belt and line up like on this?
Send me, please, sir. Oh my god, there was one time we were lined up for, I think it was our in-house or something suggestion, and we were doing something, and Brian was like, Juan, come line up with us. Like, okay. And I didn't think nothing of it. I thought we were just
Mhm.
talking about something. So I was technically in front of Philippe during this discussion. Brian goes, no, Juan, come over here, behind me over here. And I was like, okay. I guess we're going formal today. I thought we
Yeah.
were just talking.
Speaking of Brian, on the episode where we had Brian Hamiro talk about the Veterans World Championship, so they just
Mhm.
recently released USA Judo released the rankings of 2024 for all the players. Brian's number one in his category, and also Hamiro is also number one
Yep.
in this category. So congratulations to both.
We're number one. We're number one.
Yep.
That's some great
And
news.
yep.
And do
And
you want to talk a little bit about the Substack since you've been
oh
working
yeah,
on it so much?
so yeah, the Ukemi video is finally out. All right, for those who have been waiting for a year or 2 years for it, it's finally out. I mentioned in the Instagram story, I'm not 100% happy with it, but I just like wrote down whatever I thought and pushed it out. And it is for subscribers only, and it should be free to subscribe.
Mhm.
You just need to make an account and subscribe, basically. So it's not public. If you don't have an account, you can't see it. Um, it took me a long time to figure out how that worked. By the way, I hate Substack. I was actually this close to like saying we're not
Screw
using
it.
Substack
We're done with
anymore.
Substack.
We're
We're not
using
using it no
Beehive
more.
because I was considering between Substack and another one called Beehive.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I figured it out. So I was able to make it so the subscription. They made it really hard because they want people to pay. They want me to charge people so they can take a cut. But I didn't want people to have to pay. But I found a workaround. So anyway, it's up there. There's a video and a text post that it's meant to be read together. So it's meant for you to watch the video and read the text post, or the other way around, basically. And if you just watch one or the other, it's not going to make too much sense. And that was the way I chose to present it because I didn't want to make the video like an hour long. And I also didn't want to have like a ton of text for you to read. So it's kind of like an interesting way of presenting the information. I guess I want to try. It just makes it easier. And that's only part one. So the part one was talks about anatomy of a fall. So I go deeper into like how I look at ukemi, and for me, it's really important to understand that before you go into the practice design for Ukemi. Because if you don't understand the structure of it, then you're you're just teaching stuff without knowing how to scale the force and intensity and the dangers of the throws. So that's part one. I have part two filmed already. I just need to edit it. And the part two is going to be the different kinds of games and exercises I use to scale and teach Ukemi. So that'll be out probably in, I'm not going to jinx it. Let's just say February. It might be out.
It'll be out
faster.
in 2025. Sometime in 2025, it will be out.
Yeah. So if not that many people subscribed so far, I think there's 70 people, 17 or 70. I can't remember.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, I know. It will. I haven't checked in a while. Last I checked was probably like 12 subscribers, 17 subscribers. But yeah, but hopefully this will, again, I'm not trying to do this for views. It's only for people who are interested in the information, that they actually have to make effort to look at it. And then that way I it shields me from a lot of dumb comments I got. Like, I'm trying to think what dumb, Tanya Toshi. That video got a lot of views, but I kind of wish I made it not public. Actually, I don't. I take that back because it saves a lot of people's knees. So
yeah, I think it was a good video we did.
Yeah, saves a lot of people's knees, but that's why I thought it was worth it. But yeah, I'm thinking we're still. I know last time we said Osotogari was going to be the last video, but we were actually. I forgot to mention Drop Seanage that you did is going to be the last one, not Osotogari. But I realized when we recorded Drop Seanage while I was editing it, it was missing some information and some of the shots weren't very clear on the danger. So I wanted to redo that. So that will be the last video. And then we'll have the summary. Yeah. And then we'll have the summary video. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Check out a Substack again. So let me know if you're one of those people subscribed and you've checked out the Ukemi thing. Let me know your opinions, whether some things aren't clear or not, because I do plan to regularly update it. Once I learn, I'm gonna like update it to make it more clear and add more information. So this is just like it's gonna be a living document, I guess, as I learn more about coaching. So, yep.
All right, so that's all that's going on with us right now. So we've been going some heavy stuff with the rules this past year, our interpretation rules, at the end of the year stuff. So we kind of want to do a little bit of a lighter episode, but I hope people don't take this just us bashing episode. This is just so Anthony, during this holiday, since I work in Hollywood, I'm an actor and stuff, and I get a forced 2-week vacation every year. Okay, Hollywood shuts down during Christmas and New Year's, so I watch a lot of videos, I watch a lot of things. And one thing Anthony sent me was this grappling show called Nomad Grappling. Yeah. It was out of Kazakhstan, and it was when I first watched the like highlight introduction video, I thought this is so cool.
Yeah. So one of our listeners, Victor, sent it to me. So
sent it to you. Okay. So
yeah. So credit to Victor. Victor is one of our listeners, and I think he was on Reddit, and he heard me talking about ecological stuff. So he actually came to attend my class. So
okay, great. All right, cool. So he sent me this video, and the video looked great because they had like judo guys versus sambo guys versus a sumo dude in the diaper. Not a huge dude, but dude in the diaper.
Don't call it a diaper. It's a mawashi.
A mawashi, okay. A mawashi, okay. BJJ guy, nogi guy, wrestling guy, like legit, like freestyle, folk style, Greco wrestling in the singlets. What's that grappling style where they wear those white and blue and white and red?
Sambo. Oh, no, Karash.
Karash, yeah, they had a Karash guy there. I was like, watching the video, I was like, oh, this looks really cool. Oh my God, this looks really awesome. It's because it's style versus style.
There was a Sambo guy there too.
Oh yeah, there was Sambo. I thought I mentioned Sambo, but yeah, there was a Sambo guy there. So I thought it was really cool because it's style versus style again. Because when I was a kid, I enjoyed that. That was the most funnest thing about the UFC. Now it's just everyone does mixed martial art. You have a base, but everyone does mixed martial arts now. So it was this really cool grappling league. You get paid for it. It's this really interesting tournament format. They have like 3 shows out so far. I think I've watched like 2.5 of them so far. But it's the same thing that always happens. They have all these martial artists, all these different grappling styles, but the rules are always based towards BJJ.
Yeah.
And I understand BJJ is the most popular one in MMA. It's huge. It's hot. It's what's on the street right now. People love BJJ. People love the jiu-jitsu. Okay. But judo is more popular worldwide. Sambo and wrestling is more popular in Russia and Eastern Europe and stuff, which is funny because the show was taking place in Kazakhstan. So they had a lot of, I think they had a lot more wrestlers there because they had like freestyle, folk style, and Greco guys there. But the way this thing was done, it was guys could pull guard, guys can start on the ground. And I know one thing you hate that I don't, doesn't bother me, I like it and stuff, is that they're allowing leg locks and stuff.
No, I'm fine with the leg locks.
So I thought you didn't like leg locks, whatever.
I personally don't like to train leg locks, but when it comes to that kind of competition, I'm okay with leg locks. So
it was a really cool thing. I thought it'd be more interesting, but some fights are more boring than others because you got guys like, oh, I don't want to get thrown, I don't want to get slammed. Yeah. This one was this MMA grappler guy versus Greco dude, and he just pulled guard the entire time. He did the butt scoot, pulled guard the entire time. I was like, oh God, this is like the worst thing. And it's just a funny thing because
there's no penalties, right, for pulling guard.
Well, it's weird because there was this little score thing on the bottom of the screen, and it's all in Kazakhstani, so I don't know what they're saying, okay? But they would give them, like, Shidos for certain things sometimes.
You should send it to Ruslan and ask him to explain it.
I should ask Ruslan, what is he saying to him, wrestling?
Well, we have a teenager from Kazakhstan. We can ask them, too.
Yeah, we can ask them to do it, too. But, okay, so, but it has a little thing on the bottom, and it's, like, red and blue side, and it's, like, zeros. And I was like, okay, maybe they score like two points for a takedown, 1 point for this position, a pinning position or something. But nothing. Those zeros stay zeros the entire time. And the way they worked, I think it was 2 rounds of 5 minutes. And if no one got a submission, and it was submission only, no pins or nothing, which is another thing that you really don't like. Submission only.
That's why I didn't watch. That's why I stopped watching it.
Yeah. So if no one won the first 10 minutes, they had a third round, which was again another 5 minutes. But one guy won because he actually grabbed the guy finally and threw him. Did a huge like a Greco throw. I think it was a Greco match. Did a big Greco throw. I'm like, okay, that's done. Match is done. He won with the throw. I'm like, so if like in overtime, I can win just by throwing the guy or a good takedown or something or what? It's really. Watch it if you have time, but I don't be like, oh, you guys gotta watch this out. You gotta check it out. It's cool. If you have some free time, late night, bored at work or something, turn it on. It's called Nomad Grappling. But I just brought up that I think it's interesting now that there's these grappling federations popping up where people can make money. You know, the whole thing before is like just be a grappler. You go to tournaments, you might make some tournament money and stuff, but you're not gonna make a living off of it. Like I used to know this guy when I was doing BJJ in college. That as an instructor was just squeaking by, winning tournaments and teaching BJJ at the gym I was at. But yeah, so like there's Nomad Grappling. The UFC starting to take grappling more serious too because they have the UFC Invitational.
Please don't call the UFC one grappling. Just call it BJJ. Like, just call it
I know it's not that. Well, that's what we're gonna get to this. We're gonna get to that part, okay? But there's the UFC Invitational, okay, where they're getting more serious. Where they brought that one kid, Mikey, whatever that guy, the one championship kid. Yeah. They brought him over because he's like undefeated and stuff. Well, I think he's had like one loss, but it was a long time ago or something, whatnot. But they brought him over, and the UFC Invitational is just BJJ. It is straight up just BJJ rules, like butt scooting, guys on the ground, no pins and stuff. And we all know about like how one championships have had these grappling divisions now. Yep. They have like the women's grappling division, men's grappling division, where they try to say it's open grappling, but it's all catered towards BJJ. The Sambo people don't do that well. The judo guys do decently, but they still don't get the wins if they don't get submission. And just one of those things where if we'll get to and stuff when you start talking about all of them. But yeah, to like you got one championship making more stuff with the grappling divisions. You have Polaris. Is that the Gracie one? Yeah. Polaris, which is supposed to be another open grappling one, which again is majorly majorly geared towards BJJ rules again. You had Quintet, you know. Sakura was trying to make Quintet a more team-based one that's more similar to Judo's Judo's
Shido Kosen Judo system.
Yeah, like Kosen Judo system. But again, in the rules when they first started, it's similar to Kosen because like one of the big things of Kosen is that if you win, you keep going. You know, that's the whole thing about they do more Newas than Kosen because you get the bigger guys, you can't throw them, you may do more.
Is it? I don't think so. I think they do knockouts.
Yeah.
So
if you win, you keep going, though, right?
No. You. Oh wait, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
So it was kind of interesting. It was like judo kosen with grappling rules, open grappling matches, team version. Oh, cool! Really sounds really awesome. When they said when they first started, no pulling guard, no going to the ground. What is there? What do all the jujitsu guys do?
Full guard.
They all pull guard. They all start butt scooting, and the ref is like, "Let them do it. Let them do it." Okay, stand up now. It's like, how about as soon as they go down the ground, you stand them back up,
or give them a penalty.
Yes, or give them a Shido or something. You know, it's just that's one thing. What I thought was a great concept, but then it got geared towards again jujitsu more than the sambo because they had sambo guys there, they had catch wrestling guys there, they had judo team there. It was this really cool, fun concept again. Because like I said, I like watching. I think that stuff's kind of fun to watch that, but you have to gear towards all of grappling.
I disagree. It's not fun to watch. But
well, at first, like I said, at first it is. That's the one thing. They even have like the UFC even posted the Eddie Bravo Invitational.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Eddie Bravo Invitational, you can make money off that one as well. And they had palm strikes, which is very interesting. You watch guys just get hit in the head. But
yeah, I didn't
again,
watch it enough to have an opinion, but it sounds really dumb to me. Sorry.
but again, they pull guard, you can hold them down, no pins and stuff. So we just want to give our opinion on these new grappling systems, these new grappling federations coming up, and our opinions on the rules and what we think about them, and how, like, I'm not bagging on jujitsu, on the BJJ, okay? I appreciate the system. I think it should be more fair if they're going to fight everybody. Okay?
Well, here's the thing. It's okay to have like Polaris or whatever, where it's like they're like, oh, it's submission grappling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they do that. But I'll go back to the nomadic thing, right? The reason it's interesting to see it, but I'm not going to continue watching it after the Instagram short because one, they're advertising this as a style versus style thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what the hell is a sumo guy supposed to do with everyone else?
Well, it's also if you have a
it's
sumo
a grappling,
dude,
it's a pure grappling match.
If I'm gonna bring in a sumo dude, I'm bringing in a 200-some pound, 300-pound sumo guy. All right, I'm bringing in a huge ass Rikishi. All right, not a 185-pound guy that does some sumo on the side.
That's
for
one,
fun.
right?
All
then
right.
The two, that there's no ring out, right?
Yeah. The thing about the Nomads, that the way that they fight, which I was interesting, is they kind of use the karate combat ring, where it's a giant mat area that has slanted sides. So
yeah, but the thing, just look at the rules of sumo, right? It's you palm strike the crap out of someone,
yes,
which is not allowed in this rule apparently. You push them out the ring, which isn't happening here, or they win whenever you fall to the ground. So the three ways you can knock someone out or push them out or get them on the floor will not win. So what is a sumo guy supposed to do? Like,
listen, grab him, throw him in the air, slam him down, and just smush him.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was dumb in the first place to bring in the sumo guy, right? Or for him to agree in the first place. And like you said, they should have brought in a bigger guy. And then they're not all wearing the same gi. Like, that to me is like, why does the judo guy have to wear a judo gi and the jiu-jitsu guy wears a jiu-jitsu gi? So it's not a fair contest.
Style versus style.
Yeah.
So and you have the white uniform dude with the red, that whatever style he had. He wore his uniform, his gi.
Yeah. So I don't know. I personally have no interest in no gi at all, and watching it makes me bored. I don't know how.
No, I get it. There's some matches on this like Nomad thing. Like I said, I had free times. I had not working, so I just watched them. But there were times I was like, okay, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. It's like they haven't moved at all.
But with gi, I know some people think it's boring with gi to watch because it's slow, but I like watching the grips and the subtle movements. If you, I guess you have to train to understand what you're watching. But yeah, I like watching gi. But and like you said, why is there no pin as a win condition? Like if they're gonna call it, like they call it grappling tournament. It's not. This is why if pinning is not a win condition. To me, it's just either submission grappling, not even catch wrestling, right? So submission grappling, or just call it jujitsu. Submission grappling and no gi jujitsu at this point is like the same thing to me. Yeah. So anything that doesn't have that to me is just submission grappling.
And that's my thing, is like if I could hold someone down, like even I'm not saying that it has to be like a quick freestyle or folk style pin or something. I have to hold you down for 1 second or 2 seconds or something, or 3 seconds. You can do like a judo style controlled pin. If I can control you for almost 20 seconds and you can't escape, then that should be a win right there. That is a submission because you can't do nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just what my
I
opinion
agree.
is.
Like if you're just gonna sit there and do nothing, you literally nothing you can do, then
Yeah. Do you remember? I'm gonna bring this up right now. Do you remember when Shinya Aoki, I think it was in Polaris he fought in that one, where he was falling off the ring, where they had like a race stand, I think it was a little racing they had, and he was falling off the ring from the guy, and another guy came and like that's where they like put him on his back, like caught him on his back, and the dude then submitted Shinya because Shinya was like, "Oh, I'm falling off, stop defending himself." The guy stopped him. The other dude got the submission onto him, and it's like, okay, he lost. It's like, shouldn't that be like a restart if they're falling off the ring? Why is it that usually falling off the platform here, a fan came over and stopped them, but it's like, oh no, that's fit win.
that I mean, it was very similar to when I went to Fight to Win, right? The guy fell on us, but
yeah,
yeah,
that's one thing I like. But this Nomad was better because they had that little mat area and they had little slanted sides like Karate Combat.
So to go back to the original point you were making, I think UFC and all these other companies are trying to capitalize on the growth of jiu-jitsu submission grappling, like what we see with ADCC and CJI, the recent one with the pit. So was that Craig Jones Invitational?
Oh, okay, yeah. No, Craig Jones, he piggied off. Craig Jones's he piggied off Karate Combat, so they just did a Karate Combat and a Craig Jones at the same time.
I don't think
they used the same ring.
They used the same ring, but they did not make it the same at the same time. I don't think so.
I think it was at the same day that they did 2 shows.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. My point is they saw the potential in it and they want to jump in before the
that is another thing. And Karate Combat being a karate league when it first started is now having grappling matches before and after their shows.
Yeah. So I think everyone's just like buying into this market of people watching it, and I don't understand personally, but I know there's money in it, and there's money, they're going to attract people. Not a fan of UFC, but yeah, because UFC, this is what I like about the Olympics is you draw freaking draws and you fight up, right? I don't like the whole, this person fight this person will be interesting, so let's have them pair together, and it might be a huge mismatch, or it might just they might both not be very good in general, but because they're on the same level, then the show is fun to watch. So that's why I stopped watching UFC, because a lot of times the fighters aren't very good until like you get to the main card. So, and even recently the main card, a lot of them aren't very good too. So,
Anthony talking his shit again.
Yeah,
you can see Anthony anytime at Hollywood Judo Dojo at.
I like all the technical fights where people boo, because you know people don't train, they don't know what the hell they're looking at, and they boo.
Yeah.
But for me, that's interesting. I'm not interested in watching people, what do you call it, bang in the middle, like they just like start swinging at each other,
just gunslingers, just in the middle.
Yeah, I have zero interest in that.
Let me bang, bro. Just stand and bang, bro. Come on, bro.
So yeah, I don't know what to make of this, but there's not going to be any judo representation, we know for sure, because they're not, the top level athletes aren't allowed to participate. So
they can't do that because of rule and stuff. They can't do that and do judo at the same time.
Well, also it's not a lot of top level. It's not going to pay as much.
Well,
it's not.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the thing. People don't realize. They all think that. They think that all the world's like America, okay? Just because America sucks, is not the best at judo and stuff, and don't make a lot of money, and it's not a money maker for you here in the U.S., doesn't mean Teddy Reiner ain't making billions of dollars in Europe and stuff, you know?
Well, I wouldn't use Teddy
Other
Reiner.
countries that are popular.
I would not use Teddy Reiner as a example, because I think he's an outlier. Because he's such a superstar. I think on average, you're at the very least you can make a living. On average, you're average judoka, which a lot of UFC fighters can't.
Yeah.
Okay, your average UFC fighter is not making a living, and
opening contract is 4 and 4. You know,
not retiring with a job, but
in CTE.
Yeah, your average judoka retires with like they could retire. Like your average high level judoka will retire with either a coaching job, or they would like end up with like you can see what these people are doing after they retire. It's very clear. And then you see UFC fighters, not everyone's making it that way. They have to open a gym or something.
Mm-hmm. No, it's seeing like a judo guy open up a dojo after he retires.
I'm talking about your average high level judoka. Like I was just looking at some people were retiring, becoming teachers or becoming business owners. They're running a marketing firm or real estate. Like they're doing like normal people jobs. They're not like struggling. So I see a lot. We see a lot of UFC fighters that came by our gym that are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, and everyone thinks they're getting paid a lot of money, but yeah, you have to look. I think it was on the BJJ sub. Someone posted a statement, a billing statement or something, and like the UFC pays this much, but then that's before you pay your coach, before you pay your tax, before you pay your corner, whatever, your medical stuff, and then the UFC was actually subtracting money for offering medicals service. Yeah. So they were like the UFC was charging them for medical, plus they had to pay for the flights for their cornerman and coach. So after all of that, that's like what 6 months of work for that amount of pay, and you took all that damage.
And don't forget, you have to pay if you're a foreigner, if you're in another country, from another country and stuff. If you come to the U.S., you have to pay your U.S. taxes, and then whatever country you go to, you have to pay your taxes for that on another country. So I hate that. That's so not fair.
And
that's why I guess some fighters don't want to leave the U.S. I get it.
Yeah. So I guess we're turning this into a different discussion, but you're not going to get your high level judokas in their prime competing in these other things.
Yeah. So, all right. So me and Anthony, we decided we're going to pull our money together. We're going to get some sponsors. We're going to create the Tatami Talk Grappling Federation, Inc. Something, no blood, all blood sport, something federation. Yeah. Okay. So the Tatami Talk Grappling Federation. Anthony, what would be your rule set?
It would be a combination of freestyle wrestling in terms of like the point system, and also what do you call it? Pins. That's what, like the judo pins. That's what I would go by.
That's it. Nothing about now uniforms or.
Oh yeah, in the gi, of course. Like stand. I'm not saying you have to wear a judo gi. It just has to be standardized. It can't be like style versus style. You wear your Islamo gi. I wear my Shui Jiao gi. I wear it. Yeah, it's not
Shui Jiao gi. That's what we need. We need a Shui Jiao guy. That's what we need now.
Yeah. So everyone has to wear a standardized uniform, right? I don't care what it is, as long as it's all the same. And I like the freestyle point system on the bringouts. You know what you get points for pushing someone out, right?
Yeah.
And then like you lose points for based off of positions. So you can't just like turtle. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone gets behind you, you get points.
Yeah.
And it's not like dumb. I'm not gonna call it dumb because I don't really understand it, but it's not like BJJ where you have to get the hooks in and hold it for 3 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Because if I get a rear body triangle, you have to establish I'm not getting points.
Yeah, you got to establish the position you're in. You know,
I have to loosen my body triangle and get those hooks in and hold it for 3 seconds and put them back in the body triangle to get the points. So I'm not a fan of that. But I think wrestling and a mix of wrestling and judo have it down right, basically. Yeah, I don't have a strong preference. It's just I really like winning by pins. Like if they just did any of those tournaments we talked about, if they just did you can win by a 20-second pin, I would watch it. I would watch it religiously, but because they don't, I don't watch it.
Well, because jiu-jitsu guys don't like being like, I have this happen at catch. I have this happen at judo sometimes where I'm facing someone that does more BJJ than judo or more BJJ than catch wrestling, where I'll hold them down and be like, dude, you know, you lost already 3 times already. Like, oh man, I'm sorry. I've got to move out of here. It's like, yeah, you have to keep moving. You know, you got to keep one shoulder off the mat.
Yeah. And I won't even attempt to address guard pulling, because if you make it so pinning is a losing condition, then people will not pull guard. I guarantee you will see so much less guard pulling.
And I think they still be cocky enough that they'll still pull guard, think they can do an arm bar or a scissor sweep or a butterfly sweep or something. I bet you they still would.
I think they will not. I think you'll still see that, but I think it will be relegated to very specific individuals with that specific skill set, which is fine. Like, because it's skillful. If you can pull guard and do that right away, sure. But the threat of being pinned, as we see in judo, is much greater. That's why we don't see that happen in judo. No one says you can't do tomoe nage like into a sweep and then pin, right? Or submission. But we don't see that because you can get called a false attack if you fail, and two, you can get pinned. That's why we don't really see it.
Do you remember? I can't remember what the Japanese federation was called, but it was Japanese like hybrid. It was supposed to be mixed martial arts, but their thing was that it was almost like a Sandow ring where if you throw the person off the ring, it would be like an automatic TKO, or if you pull them off the ring or something, it's automatic KO or something.
So it was like
that?
sumo?
No, because it was MMA. But what happened is that so many people were getting used to like, oh, well, if I pull the guy out or push the guy out the ring, it's an auto TKO. And I was like, it reminded me when I fought the Sandow guy one time when he kept on trying to push me off the ring the entire time to get points. And I was like, dude, you're not even kickboxing with me no more. You're just trying to push me out the ring. All right.
Yeah, the rules dictate the behavior. So
yeah. And it just reminded me of that. Like if you do too much with the push outs, that's all people are gonna do. So all right, so now it's Juan's day. All right, so this is what I want to do. Okay. So one, I don't care what uniform you wear, right? You want to wear jiu-jitsu gi, judo gi, sambo gi, rash guard, wrestling singlet, shorts, just as long as you have underwear on, okay?
So you're just doing the whole pro wrestling thing then.
Kind of, all right? If you want to come in wrestling trunks and wrestling boots, I say do it, young man. So that's what I'm going to do, okay? So one, I don't care what uniform you wear. But my thing, you have to start standing. There is no guard pulling, all right? That's just from my stand-up rules, okay? There's no guard pull. If you get guard pulled, and I would do like a Shido thing also, you know, because I got to keep close to judo, where if you get like 3 Shidos or something, you're out. Automatic TKO, Hansakamake, we're going to do kind of like how the old pancration days were, you know, where if you grab the rope, you would get 3 rope breaks, and then there'll be no rope breaks after that. So say if you're in a submission, try to grab the rope to escape, there's no rope breaks. And if you slide outside the ring, that would be on automatic disqualification. But I think I might keep it. I like the way that how the karate combat and how this Nomad thing had it in the
pit.
Yeah, in the pit. I kind of like that a little bit because it keeps them inside. Like the pit. Well, my thing, I don't want to worry about people falling off the ring, falling out, sliding out.
Use a cage or do what judo does.
What? As soon as they fall out, just bring them back in. What?
Yeah. I don't know. Do what judo does or use a cage. Why? I don't understand a pit. Like,
well, I think it looks so cool. I want to set it on fire and stuff. You know, I'll put some sharks outside.
The pit to me is a safety issue.
You think so?
I think so. So if we continue, I think the CGI thing is still new, so people haven't found ways of really exploiting it yet. But if we continue to use the pit, I'm sure we're going to see some gnarly injuries. That's my prediction. I'm going to get so much hate for that, but
it's different. You know, when Chuck Norris first brought the pit out for his karate league, for his kickboxing, people thought it was weird as hell. And he used a circle pit. Everybody thought it was dumb as shit.
Yeah, but it's not grappling.
Yeah. But now they're using karate combat. They're using the Craig Jones. I'm
okay with the pit for striking. I don't think it's a good idea for grappling.
Okay, so my thing, you have to start standing. You give Shidos there's no pulling guard. Strict rule of no pull. If you butt scoot, you stand right back up.
I think you're letting your personal feelings come into this.
Yes, exactly. That's why you start your own federation.
This is why I don't like guard pulling either, but I want to allow it because I want people to see how dumb it is.
Oh, and if you guard pull, I'm allowing slams too. Slam.
Well, yeah. You mean jump
pull guard me? I'm slamming the shit out of you.
Yeah, jump guard. So it'll be like, banning jump guarding versus allowing it and letting them get slammed, right?
Yeah.
Which one would you choose? I would pick to allow jump guarding and allow them to get slammed. Because it showcases how dumb jumping guard is. Basically.
In real life situation.
In general. So even within jiu-jitsu, it's dumb, but people do it because they don't allow slamming. But this is why I don't think you should ban guard pulling, because you should let them get punished hard for guard pulling.
You bring a good point there, Anthony. I like it. Second thing with my thing, when it comes down to Newaza stuff, I would allow controlled pins. So yeah, if you don't get out of a pin, maybe you get like I don't know if I'd do the full 20 seconds. Maybe I'd do a little bit shorter, maybe 10-second pins or something. What do you think? 10 seconds would be too short? Ah, no,
10
this is all
seconds too
fantasy
short.
booking anyways.
10 seconds too short.
All right, so maybe 20-second controlled pin. That's a pin. That's a win. That's an automatic TKO. Because if you can't escape me in real life, like we said, like the whole thing about samurai culture and how we get it from judo, I would have pulled out my dagger, I would have stabbed you already. My homie would came up,
I
stabbed you.
would. So one thing I would change, I didn't. This is I forgot to mention it, but the
All right.
pins, I would not do the judo style pin where you could continue the osaikomi by transitioning. If you transition, I would reset the counter.
Would you?
Yeah.
I would think I'd allow the transition and controlling stuff because if they can escape from you, that shows dominance, in my opinion. But again, this is just spitballing. I like all submissions. I have no problem with any submission. It'd be I'll even allow chokes. You know, chokes, neck cranks, leg locks, arm locks. Just no finger, no toes. This is toe hold stuff, and no wrist locks.
Why no wrist locks?
I don't know because it's too easy.
I don't think so. I think wrist locks are like if you get caught in it, it's your fault kind of thing, and they're not overly dangerous.
I know they're not overly dangerous. It's just me. It's just one of those really easy things. But okay, I'll negotiate with that. Hey, this is my set. You do that in your
Okay,
move set, all right? You take that in your move set. But I would do the whole thing. Like I would do. I don't know how many rounds. I would probably do 3 rounds, minimum of 3 rounds. But I don't know if I would do like a wrestling 3-minute round or like a judo 4-minute round or do an MMA 5-minute round. Ooh, or we bring that pride. We do one 10-minute round, one 5-minute round.
I didn't think you were going this deep into it, so I didn't bring it up. But the time limit thing is interesting. I would do. I'm usually against rounds. Like even in UFC,
just keep 30-minute, just go till wins.
No, for UFC, for MMA, I'm against rounds. Like I think you should go back to the UFC one where you just fight, right? But for grappling, I think it would be interesting to have rounds. I think it would be interesting to have rounds because if you can't pin them and you're just like stalling, then you reset and all that stuff. So I would do like just like UFC, exactly like UFC, like 3 rounds, champion, champion fight 5 minutes, 5 rounds kind of thing. So
the only thing is that if you do like submission only, if you add pins, I think that would bring a really interesting dynamic of bringing in wrestlers and judo guys and the grappling martial arts have pins. Because I remember there was a problem with Polaris that I was killing Polaris is that they're having a lot of draws because there'd be no submissions. So if you fight for their 5 or 10-minute rounds, whatever they do, and there's no winner, like, okay, it's another draw. And I remember people were getting frustrated with that because like almost every fight was going to a draw. And people would be like, oh, well, I thought he won. He had more submission attempts. Oh, I thought he won because he did this. I thought that. So I think adding pins would make it more interesting and force more submission attempts. And if you throw some people, if you're throwing the shit out of them, you knock them out. Hey, it is what it is. And it's easier to get. It's like sometimes it's easier just to go into submission from a good throw.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I want to add more to the justification for adding rounds.
Okay.
Because we see this in judo. I'm not sure about wrestling, but we see this in judo a lot where as the round time goes on, especially with golden score, the athletes go slower and slower and slower. And then it's just like someone makes a mistake and throw, right? And looks like a highlight clip. But I think it'll be interesting to have breaks for them to recover so you get these more explosive rounds coming back out. And also you get to coach the corner coaching, let's change up the strategy, all that kind of stuff. So that's why I think adding rounds would be interesting.
All right. So that'll be all my stuff mostly, like all that. My last thing, and going back to the ring thing, going back to what kind of ring or mat area or how to have them fight in. Now, this is just me cheating here, okay? I'm going to tell you this little secret. It's me cheating for us throwers. And anybody that does any throwing spot, okay? I'm going to have them wrestle or fight on like, how would I describe it to you guys? So in a pro wrestling ring, it is a spring-loaded ring with a spring in the middle usually. There's plywood on top of there, and there's like a wrestling mat. Sometimes it's just foam or sometimes it's an actual collegiate wrestling mat, okay? So it hurts. Getting thrown on that hurts. When you fight in MMA, you're fighting usually on like 2-inch thick or a nice padded area. Like when I fought MMA, it was very nice padded. So when I threw guys, they weren't taking the full impact of the throw. I would have them fight on a more thinner area So it's just like plywood, maybe a wrestling mat or maybe a 1 inch tatami mat or something. So the throws and takedowns actually do the damage they're supposed to. Because I know sometimes I'm noticing
Yeah.
when I did MMA and I see sometimes people throw in MMA fights, like yeah, you have the adrenaline rushing you and stuff, but when my feet are sinking into the mat like a quarter of an inch or something, and I throw someone impact, it's all being dissipated on that mat. I know you're supposed to protect the
Is
fighter.
the UFC mats like that too?
I've heard they're very squishy. Also, I remember someone said like they were surprised when they got to UFC how squishy their mats were when they fought.
Well, that explains why a lot of takedowns don't do any damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get you're protecting the fighters and stuff. You don't want their hit their head and get knocked. That was a big problem with boxing back in the day. It was just plywood, not even plywood. It was just 2x4, not 2x boards, wooden boards with a canvas on top. Sometimes you have like a little piece of thin foam underneath there. So the whole thing's like guy would get knocked out, hits his head on the mat, so he got the knockout hit from the impact, and then the impact of his head hitting the mat. That would create a lot of brain damage.
See, that's why if you have a point system, then I'd rather you keep the athletes safe and then reward them with a lot of points. That's one way to do it. But yeah, on the throws. But if you're gonna like make them take damage, then I wouldn't do a point system.
I want to get knocked out, throws, slams, good arm bars, rear naked chokes. I want to fight to the death. I want blood. But that's just one of my things. Like, I remember one time I threw a guy. I think it was that catch. I think it was. I threw a guy, and you're like, "Oh my god, I've never been thrown like that before." It's like, well, yeah, because this is like hard. This floor is like concrete floor with these little 2 inch little jujitsu mats. Dude, they're gonna hurt more.
So, are you done with the rules? I want to ask you something else.
I think that's the rules. What do you think about? So, what do you think of the Tatami Talk Grappling Federation?
I think we need to have our listeners vote which one of our rules are better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have people leave a comment and be like, "Which one would you compete in if we paid you?" So,
if we paid you,
well, that's what I was gonna ask next. Like, how would you? Let's say we have $1 million, right? Just as like to pay to go towards the fighters, ignoring the cost of the venue and marketing, all that stuff. If you have $1 million, how would you structure the compensation?
Oh man,
and prize money.
See, and this is my thing because
well, this includes how many, like, whether are you going to do like a UFC card system, like 6 fights or something like that, or are you going to do like a judo style bracket?
That's
or are you going to have super fights or what?
Well, this is one thing that is because I grew up as a grappler, as a taekwondo guy, as a karate guy and stuff. Everything was tournament based. You get 6 people or 8 people and stuff. You fight till there's a winner and till there's a final winner and stuff. Okay. So if we were to do this, I was like, we're going to do this, Anthony. We're going to do this one day. You start off with tournaments, create champions, and then maybe you would maybe do just individual super fights or something, and maybe to what it becomes today. But I think the tournament system would be best.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Like,
now we're going to come to pay structure.
Yeah.
It would be everyone gets a base pay to come. Okay. Whatever a good minimum base pay would be for everyone to get paid to show up and do this. And of course, first place and second place would get the biggest half and the biggest chunk after that, and then third and fourth maybe get maybe chunk also, because at least they're fighting the semifinals, you know.
So here's how I would do it.
All right,
I'll do the sumo.
It's like fuck.
No, I'll do the sumo. I'll do the sumo system.
5 days of slamming on the mat. You have 1 match a day.
Yeah, I wouldn't do 15. To clarify, 5, but I would do like 5 days, 5 or 7 days. Maybe 8, but yeah, set at least 5, right? And it would be like you said, like the lower levels you probably don't get paid, and then when you get to higher levels,
you gotta pay the guys. You can't just have them just fight for free. You gotta pay the guys.
No, if they choose to sign up to fight, then
you can't just give them a handshake and a hot dog. Come on, man.
No, if they choose to fight, then they can fight, and then as they go up in rank, and they get to the Makuuchi division, or Juro, technically Juryo division, they start getting paid, and the higher rank you are, the more you get paid.
Yeah,
that's how I would do it. I wouldn't even do a prize money, because by winning you get promoted and you get paid more. So that's how I would do it. I wouldn't even do like, oh, you won this championship, here's your briefcase of $1 million. Like, no, none of that.
Now you get a belt and you get a large check.
Yeah, it's like, and then you, while you're in that rank, you get regular like monthly payments or whatever, and then Next time the tournament comes along, you fight again, maintain your. If you get your rank decreases, and you get a smaller paycheck. So that's how I would do.
So
it.
you wouldn't have weight classes then? You just have everyone fight same weight. Everyone just open weight class.
Well, that's a good question. I haven't thought about that, huh?
Because if you do tournament system, then you have weight classes then.
No, you definitely need weight class. I guess $1 million wouldn't be enough for that, huh?
Well, no, you could do, because that was the one thing with that's this Nomad one. This Nomad was like open weight class. There was like huge dudes versus little dudes, big dudes fighting each other.
I guess I would start off with, because it's just $1 million, I would start off either with an open weight system, or I would only have 3 weight classes, like lightweight, medium weight, heavyweight. So one of those two is what I would do. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to do this next year then?
I mean,
we're gonna look for sponsors.
If you are a very rich Arab person, whoever supports ADCC or whatever and wants to do this, please contact us.
Yes.
We'll do this. We'll maybe have all the judo YouTubers and jiu-jitsu YouTubers participate in this. I guarantee you, most of the jiu-jitsu people will say no. I'm calling
Celebrity
you guys
grappling.
out. I'll call you guys out because there will be pins involved. So
yeah. I can get a pin. Pin don't scare me, man. I'll do it.
Well, we can bring it up with our next guest that's coming on. I need to contact him because I said I was going to contact him over next. Apparently, okay. I don't know if I told you this, but I told the person who introduced me to him this. Apparently, he's pretty famous, and I had no idea who he is. I still don't. Because after he told me he was famous, I just refused to look at his Instagram, did not look it up at all, did not look at anything, because I was like, I want to go into the interview not knowing anything. So, but that's probably gonna be the next episode with a guest if we can schedule it. Right.
All right. All right. So please let us know whose grappling system you want to do. Which Tatami Talk Grappling Federation do you want to fight in? Mine or Anthony's? Anthony's a little bit safer than mine. Mine's more hardcore, I think, for the real
mine is
grapplers
more fair.
out there.
Mine is more fair. Okay.
Mine's for the real
egalitarian. Mine is equal if you want a fair shot.
Mine's equal to getting knocked out.
Oh, you're talking about, okay, I thought I was going to introduce striking, so.
Oh, no, striking. Get knocked out from throws, you know? Osoto got either out of somebody.
I think, I think we should design a judo gi that's for this rule set and just sell it as merch. You know? Not judo gi, but like a uniform. Or just a theoretical grappling league. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe it could just be a t-shirt made out of judo gi material. Like just really thick cotton, double weave.
You're like walking on like this, arms out because it's so thick.
And then the collar is the lapel doesn't go down like this; it just goes around your neck.
I saw one of those like judo or jujitsu recycling Instagram channels one time, and this guy made this pullover hoodie with a judo gi. I'm assuming it's a judo gi. I would be so claustrophobic in that thing. I know I'm gonna pull over a judo gi hoodie.
It's like you're sitting in a tank.
Yeah, seriously. I would be like, how do I get out of this? How do I get out?
Or a suit of armor or something.
I have like 3 judo jackets. I have those Hayabusa judo gi jackets. So I have like 3 of those. And I love those jackets. I'm wearing that. Don't mess with me.
Maybe we can talk to Kusakura about this because they've been making bags and flip flops, not flip flops, slippers and bags and stuff out of judo gi. So you want to make a judo t-shirt or our new Tatami Talk tournament uniform, then get sponsored by Kusakura.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
I'll just DM them on Instagram and they'll just look at me like I'm insane.
Probably. So. All right. So with that, please remember to like, share, subscribe. Go to Anthony's new Substack. He greatly appreciates it. Right? He puts a lot of work into that. Please go look at it.
Only if you're going to read the whole thing. Please.
Oh, God, Anthony. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram, Tatami Talk. You have any questions, things you want us to go over, things you want us to talk about our crazy grappling system we came up with right now. This crazy grappling tournament at tatamitalk@gmail.com. You want to follow me? You follow me at _Juan.
It's not more crazy than that nomadic thing.
You can follow Anthony at Anthony Throws on Instagram. All right. Am I forgetting anything or is that it?
Nope, that's it.
All right. With that, please don't forget to
slap the mat.